Welcome everybody to the stream. 5 minutes late even. I had to go take a leak, and I had, of course, to get myself a beautiful pomache. No better way to start watching British politics. A full pie of pomache. And of course, who could forget? I don't have a British flag. I don't have a French flag, but the closest thing I have to any of those is, where is my banner? I need it. C'est où là? Alors, c'est pas possible. Oh no no no. Aha, I found it. Aha, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching British politics, but we're always wearing a little sleeve. I need to put this phone on the setting that stops people from messaging me. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Alright, gentlemen. There we go. Nobody is messaging us. So, welcome to the chat, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I sure am. Went out with some friends before. I had a Subway sandwich. Incredible Subway sandwich. My dad is actually streaming the same thing actually upstairs. So, we will be watching the Sky Live thing. Now, I know, so obviously it's a school night, so obviously I have to go to bed. I'm probably going to go off around 10:30, maybe 10:15, I don't know, depends. Probably doing this for around an hour and a half at most. I don't see myself going. I'd rather get to bed early. I mean, this week I've been going to bed at like I've been going to sleep at like half 10, 11, you know. So to go to plan to even go to bed past 11 is a bit of a shock to me this week, I think. But hey, we can make it work. So let's get. I should put on my phone so I can see the chat. Which for some reason YouTube is broken. No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, the volume is all the way up because this phone is really, really bad. So, we've got it up here, guys. Chat. So, plan is for today, guys. I'm going to pull up the Hello Mucus. Okay, Jessica. I see how it is. That's it. I've had enough of this tomfoolery. Oh. So, I'm going to pull up if I share my screen with you all here, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, so we're going to go to the Sky News one. Sky News UK election. No, not economy, election. Please tell me it's here. Oh. Is it? Aha. There it is, guys. So.
Friends and family, no doubt a few close advisors as well, taking a few quiet hours before he heads down here. It has been an exhausting campaign of dashing across the country. He will be coming here, and we expect a result here.
Hello, Lucas. Hello, amigo. Welcome to the chat.
Okay, thanks very much indeed. The optimists are saying between 3 and 3:30, but it does feel as though it's going to be 4 a.m. That's what most people are saying.
Guys, should we pop this
for now, let's go up to North Yorkshire and
I'm kind of in the way there, aren't I?
Yes, Mark, thank you very much indeed. Well, Rishi Sunak has now been Prime Minister for 618 days up to this polling day. He's standing in the seat of Richmond and Northallerton. I nearly said again, but it is in fact a new constituency, marginally changed in that boundary review, and one of the largest by landmass in England. Centred on the market town of Northallerton, where we are now, including the picturesque and historic Richmond.
I've heard Northallerton's quite nice. That's where Rishi Sunak's from. He's actually running there as well.
That the National Farmers Union would remind him that there are more
can you guys hear me better now?
Constituents amongst the moors and dales here. Mr. Sunak first stood in Richmond in 2015, taking over the seat, in fact, from William Hague, another Conservative leader.
I know Count Binface, betterish.
Let me bring in Dan McCaffrey, our political
right next to
him.
Hello, Mr. Tiger Films, my guy.
What's he been up to today, then, Darren?
So, obviously, UK elections. Now,
well, he of course voted
who do I want to win? Now,
morning,
I'm going to get into that later
at
on.
7:30.
But right now, let's just have a little think about who's running. So, of course, we've got Rishi Sunak,
for a couple of minutes before he returns back to his constituency home and has spent the day with his family.
It is Rishi Sunak,
Maybe
and
even
his
had
really billionaire
his
wife.
election pie.
So, and yeah, he's billionaire, while we're all paying extremely high taxes.
Supplied by his local butcher.
And everyone's living in poverty. Welcome to the UK. Lucas, I've told people to join your stream. Thank you, Jess. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We've got to spread this Sigma-ness right here. This is cold. Thank you, Jess. You know what? You get a shout out on my next TikTok.
And
be
also
tomorrow.
the 13 candidates standing here, 13, which I think is a record.
So the polls close at 10. So now I had history today, and a lot of these people in the chat here were from my history class. If you guys know, we talked about British politics in there. So now this is a very important general election. I think probably because of many reasons, but the main one.
Worth just noting as well that Yorkshire and Humber, this electoral region,
is the main reason is because this will. Oh, okay, she's gone blocky. The main reason is because. Wait, does Rishi have to pay taxes? Yeah, his wife used the loophole saying that she didn't live in the UK, even though she was living in the UK. She claimed non-dom status. Eventually, however, she was forced into doing it. So a couple months back, she's been paying her taxes. So that's good. But either way, rich people have cut taxes, poor people have lots of taxes. So
we're going to have a bit of a trivial pursuit.
Oh, I love this set. I was telling my friend before they called me right before this. I thought that's how I rushed the call. And when they ended it, I just we did a 5-second countdown. I just after they reached 5 seconds, I went, "Happy New Year," and then just left.
It's 1945.
What? 92? Okay, we'll come back to that one. Exactly 10 p.m. we'll reveal the results of the exit polls. None of them were right. Produced Sky News, the BBC, and ITV News. It should give us our clearest indication.
Not a name. All right, Maddie, my friend Maddie, who's in the chat.
All
right,
our data editor Ed Conway is inside the exit poll bubble, where the polling is being crunched by a team of psephologists from Sky News,
of the Italian Nation,
and from ITV News. He has more now on how the process works.
Went to Subway with me today.
It's the first big moment of election night, eagerly awaited by political pundits, broadcasters.
This was the map I was talking about.
The first indication of just how well or badly the main parties have done, of how the political landscape in this country is changing, and crucially, of who will be walking into number.
Oh yeah, I love this set. So they had like 2 3D models.
But after 6 weeks in which we've been, frankly, up to our eyeballs in surveys, what makes this poll, the exit poll, quite so special? Well, exit polls, first off, are very accurate.
Love
sometimes
you,
down
Lucas.
to a margin of only a few seats, and partly that's down to how they're carried out. Commissioned by the broadcasters, Sky News, BBC, ITV News, carried out by Ipsos UK. They have got interviewers at polling stations around the country.
Wow, you just
133
look at how
this year,
yellow.
mainly chosen because of the battlegrounds you've got there, the party competition, and the current and the historic data that's captured at polling stations, along with previous results in those constituencies.
That constituency map looks like Kazakhstan, not gonna lie.
Voter behaviour, and that change in the vote share.
Statistically,
another data is then poured over by statisticians and political scientists in a sealed room in London. Ingredients for one of the most accurate projections
that's
of
currently
the election
what it's
results.
looking like.
So shall we look back at how close it's been in the past? Starting with this, 5 years ago, 2019, that, of course, in that election, Boris Johnson's majority was just 6 seats off. And then you can see, look, bit of an upset back in 2015 when the seat numbers suggested a hung parliament, not quite over the line there. But look at this, David Cameron scraping through with a thin majority. Overall, though, it's worth saying, it has been very close historically. I want to just show you 2010. Look at this. That's what the exit poll was suggesting. And just look at the eventual results. Wow. Bang on.
We could like genuinely get
how it actually works.
I mean, we already know Labour's going to win.
It's finally election day. You know the drill. You head down to your local polling station. Maybe it's a leisure centre, or maybe it's a church.
My polling station's in the Methodist church right around the corner from me. So love that place. I read the Bible there once. We were doing like a song thing. We were doing like carol singing there, and I lost my page, so I'd like to swap books with people. I remember my mum was there, and it was like really embarrassing. So,
hello, hi, I'm from Ipsos. If you could replicate how you've just voted inside on there and pop it in the ballot box for me.
Once you have collected all of your ballot papers, what happens to that data?
So the interviewer will sit down on a bench somewhere, get all the papers out of the ballot box and read them through on the phone. And that's how we enter the data into our systems and are able then to process it and send it over to BBC,
Thank you.
ITV and
Thank
Sky
you,
and
Jess.
Teams to analyse.
All right.
Electronically first.
That's right, guys.
Through a secure pipeline.
All right. Every single one of you guys
The
are
data
Sigma.
comes through to
We're
us.
all
We'll
Sigma
model the
together.
change in the
all right.
vote at each of those polling stations, and we'll try and look
That
for
guy, I don't know. I think I've
patterns in
seen him
that
before. He kind of
change.
looks
It's
like
presumably very
like
secret.
David
Our phones
Cameron.
are
I'm
taken
not gonna
away
lie.
from us. There are security
Everyone used to say my
guards,
dad used to
so
look
we
like
don't
David
communicate
Cameron.
with the
Apparently,
outside
like
world
David
at all.
Cameron was
We just
running
talk to each
for
other.
Prime
And so it's
Minister.
a
A
very
lot of
strange
people
feeling as people
in
are
London, 'cause
still
my dad used to
going
live
to
like
the
down south.
polls,
A lot of people used
already
to
having a
say
sense of what the
like
result
on the
will
bus,
be.
like, they used to like look at him funny, thinking he was like David Cameron.
Secure pipeline
He does look a
still
little bit
brings
like him. One of my friends
mysterious,
thinks he
doesn't it?
looks
But
like,
as we've just
what's his
heard,
name?
there is a science and a finely honed art to all of this. And this
Oh,
year's exit
man,
poll
it's,
might be one of the
Piers
most
Morgan, that guy.
anticipated yet.
Interesting fella.
Just over 45 minutes to go. Ed Conway there right
45
now,
minutes.
Ed. And
So I'm gonna
representatives from the
stay
other
on,
broadcasters.
we're
Getting
gonna
their final
stream
briefings
until
about what the
what
exit
we're thinking,
poll has
1:15.
revealed. What they're told can't be
1:15.
broadcast
Oh, I know.
until 10 p.m.
We can stream way
Ed
past
joined
10. We can stream
musicologist in
until
central London
11.
earlier this evening
Let's stream
and
until
sent
11,
us
guys.
this
That's
before he went to the
like
site.
2 hours. I keep getting my times mixed up. They got an election. Oh, that's so cool. They've really like done like Sky News is probably the best place. Like they've got a cool logo. I know it's just a logo, but like
I
it
can't
looks
tell
cool.
you exactly where I am, but I'm about to head into the exit poll bubble, the lock-in. There have been so many surveys, so much speculation about this election, but all of that is about to come to an end. This is the result, the poll that really matters, followed by
not
the
fair.
real thing. And after 10 o'clock,
Me
I'll
not
be
fair.
there in this cab to bring you a little bit more detail.
Oh yeah, because I said I was gonna call.
And after 10
My bad.
tonight, you'll be able to find out what the exit poll is predicting in your constituency. Just
But
scan the QR code.
I've
Here
heard
it
a lot
comes.
about my constituency.
Below
So
you on
my
the
constituency
screen.
is cheated.
Right.
So
Now I never know which way to point. I knew it would be the other way. There.
So
Scan that
Bramall.
QR
So
code. One of the
Bramall,
many
if I go to
constituencies we'll be
Bramall,
following tonight
it's fine
covers the
though.
towns
You sure?
of Grimsby and Cleethorpes. Sky News has
In
been focusing
Bramall,
on what matters to voters there during the course
it's a
of the
very, there's a
election
lot of
campaign.
Lib Dem signs.
And Sarah
Like
Jane is in
Cheelsy
Grimsby
predominantly. Yes,
tonight. We had a bit of a
hello,
chat
just the
via
hands of guy.
text,
Welcome to the
last
stream.
night. I said
Welcome
you
to
should
stream,
be given the
everybody. Hope you guys are having
free
a great
person
day.
of the city.
I know, I
You've
sure
been there
am.
that long.
Well, I don't know about that, Kay, but we'll angle for it live on Sky News, shall we? See what comes of it. Yes, we're in one of the many new constituencies that are in place for
Grimsby.
this general election.
That place has been through a lot. I watched a
Great
documentary about Grimsby the
Cleethorpes,
other day
one
with
of
my dad.
them.
Yeah,
the
because that
result here
place is
expected
dull.
at around
It is. Well,
3
it's grim.
a.m.
But,
and as you said,
yeah,
we've
man,
spent a
it
lot
is
of time
so bad.
in
It's like
Grimsby
poverty's
and
there. It's like
Cleethorpes here
really,
on
it's like
Sky News,
sky
getting to know the area, getting
It's like
to know the
ridiculous.
people,
It's really sad.
finding out
watching
what they want on this
people
election.
like
And you
struggle,
joke about
it's
me
like,
getting
it's
the
quite
freedom
hard
of
to like
Grimsby
watch
and
that documentary. I'm not
Cleethorpes.
gonna lie, it's like
And
really
national
sad
correspondent
because
Tom
you're watching
Parmenter has
people
been
who like
here a
work their
lot
whole
more than I
lives,
have, and you were
like,
actually
'cause
joking with someone
Grimsby
earlier
was
at
a
the Tom
big
that you're going
port
to start
town after
paying
especially after
council
Brexit.
tax
It's
if
like
you're here. Much
completely
more,
ruined
almost.
the economy.
But talk to us about this constituency and what we've learned here over the last few months.
Yeah, this part of the North Lincolnshire coast has almost become a second home through the course of this year, and we put the people of Grimsby and Cleethorpes at the very heart of our reporting, front and centre, really, and it's got
We
a
have a big
really
lecture
incredible
in France this
backstory. This
weekend.
place
Oh yeah,
with
we do.
the
Yeah,
fishing
we have the
industry,
first round.
but these are all
of
towns
the,
that are really in need of a better,
the
brighter
National
future.
Assembly
We've
elections,
spoken
like
to
the
so
Parliament
many
elections,
people,
like,
the young, the
we're not-
old,
we're not electing
everyone
a
in
new
between.
president,
We've spoken to
so
those who are
not
doing
here.
okay
So
and
in
those
the
who
UK,
are
you guys
really,
elect,
really struggling at the
for a
moment.
party, and
we've
when
met
that party
apathy,
wins,
but
the
we've
leader of
also
that
met
party
a hell of a lot of people who
is
want
the
to
Prime
have their
Minister.
say,
The
and
Prime Minister also
that's
runs
been
as head
shown
of their
throughout the
local
year on Sky
constituency,
News,
obviously,
and it's
as well.
something that has been incredibly
So-
important to us to give that
Yeah,
voice. And so here we
Jessica
are at the point of the day in which the final votes are being cast, dogs are being walked home from
Hijack
polling stations, and
Crazy.
soon, with a very long night ahead, those votes will be counted.
Yeah, just under
In 45 minutes, guys, we're going to find out. The polls will close. So if you haven't voted, now obviously you guys are, I'm assuming most of you guys are probably under the age of 18, right? Now any over 18s watching, I recommend you guys all go to vote, all right?
We were talking to the returning
Okay,
officer earlier,
people
weren't
who
we?
fought
And,
for your
just
right
a
to
little
vote
detail for
for
you.
centuries and for
There are lots of
decades,
coloured
all right?
pegs on the table.
That guy's staring at the camera.
And they use those to sort of separate the votes. But the returning officer was saying actually
he
there's
looks
a lot
like
more
he
colours
look.
needed this year
Don't
because
like
there were so
correct me
many
or something, but he
other
looks like
parties and
Ant and Dec.
independent candidates.
Yeah, it's a big job. Lots of people, lots of volunteers who love this moment of a campaign when finally they get
a mixture of
to
both
help
of them.
This process of democracy.
He literally looks like a mixture of both of them.
In the corridors outside, getting their steps in, waiting
Holy
for those
smokes.
boxes to fly through the doors. And Tom, thank you. We will be here in the seat of great
Excuse me,
Grimsby and
what the
Cleethorpes
Sigma?
throughout
This
the night
is
here on Sky News
not
into
of the
early hours.
homosexual
We're getting
rainbow
right through till 7
variety.
a.m.,
This is
aren't we,
of
We certainly are, SJ. Looking fabulous.
Colours.
Chat to you throughout the night. Thanks very much. Thank you. Highest
Oh
turnout
no, all
post
I see
war.
right now, I mean, this is
gotta
colours
get
everywhere.
I'm so ready for this. I'm
It's
so
gonna be a
ready
long
for
night.
this.
It's
83.9% in 1950.
Very good.
So
Is
you were
that written in
close.
front of
But
you?
yeah, I mean, if
That's
I had
in
to
my
recommend,
election guide
just go out and
put
vote.
together for you.
Right.
But Isla Glazer
No matter who you
together, we
vote
should
for,
give
even
her
if
a
it's
shout
Reform
out. She's
UK,
legend.
go ahead, just vote if you can, obviously. If you can, well
have
then.
lost a seat, and the
just,
youngest
you know,
person to ever win
do
one.
your
You'll know
please,
the
but,
youngest person to ever win. Was it Murray Black?
You
There.
know, even if it's a party,
And I think it's
you're
my
never gonna
great
win. Vote
friend
for who
Dennis
you
Skinner was
want,
the oldest.
not for who
I
you.
was going to ask you how old,
not
but
for,
that's
not,
just
not,
that's
don't
just
vote for Labour because you think they're gonna win. All right, vote for who you
Agree.
want. Don't vote tactically. Vote for
87.
you. All right, that's what I'll always stand by.
I know
That. All right.
You were shouting it at home.
If I could have voted, I
weren't you?
would have
He
voted
wasn't
for
listening.
All the best, Dennis, if you're listening.
Not as much as he
Quite,
used to shout out in the comments.
Definitely.
There was like,
I
just
mean,
a tiny
Ed Davies
just
jumped
effort. It was like a
massive
pebble
pole
dropped on the
dangled
ground.
there like a little sardine on a rope. Incredible.
You're watching Election
Dangling
Night Live
there
here
from
on
his feet.
Sky
He's like bright red at
News.
the bottom.
In a moment, we'll be in the constituencies racing to be first to declare this very evening. It's going to be quite the night. And with the clock kicking down to 10 o'clock, we're getting ready to see who's on course to take up residency in Downing
Oh yeah,
Street.
Rishi, no one's
and
living there
take
right now. Rishi Sunak's
ownership
packed
of
all his
this
things. Apparently he's left.
Very famous feline. Evening, Larry.
Larry, let's go. Love Larry the cat. Great guy. 10 out of 10. Sigma guy. Just like it's kind of fallen down a little bit. Let's give it a Sigma bomb. Your high fucking that jumper. International. Oh, now I gotta learn about international stuff. Sandwich. Yeah. I love sandwiches. I had a tartine today with a closed top, and I'll admit it's a sandwich because it had a closed top. But still, in Bolivia. Bolivia's like one of two countries, like three. Sandwich de chola. Sandwich de chola. The cat.
I'm Martin Brunt, and I'm Sky's crime correspondent.
This is in Netherlands. I love the
My
Netherlands.
most memorable story was, and still is, the disappearance of Madeleine McCann.
This shit was like 20 years
please
ago.
do not hurt her. Please give all
I mean,
the
don't get me wrong, right? You gotta find her, but like,
We aim to be the best and most
this has been
trusted
going on for
place
20
for
years.
news. For detectives,
I think it's
the
just safe to
first
say she's
48
dead.
hours after a murder are
Alright.
crucial in the search for clues. The public expects them to find Jill Dando's killer soon. The British detectives are planning to meet forensic experts, academics, and even witch doctors.
Like, when is there a
I
point where you
remember
just
the
go,
Grimm's
okay,
case,
we've been
the
looking for
sole
long
murder
enough.
of
I think Madeleine
schoolgirls
McCann's
Holly
dead.
and
I think it's just safe to say.
I felt I can't undo what's
Like,
happened.
she's been
but
gone
I
for.
can
When did
help
Madeleine
explain
McCann go
it.
missing? Alright.
Ian Huntley was arrested and charged within a fortnight of the murders.
I've never murdered anyone. I've never raped anyone. What am I in jail for?
The parole board has to decide if Bronson needs to be kept locked up
better?
for the safety of the public. My
My
biggest challenge was to
Oh.
persuade a jail diamond
Guess it's
thief
good.
to answer my
Yeah,
letters.
that works, I guess, right? What are we thinking, guys? It's working good.
Martin Brunt, Sky
So,
News.
Madeleine McCann, when
at
did she
the
go
Old
missing?
Bailey.
I'm not good at Madeleine McCann, alright. When did she go missing? Like, 2007. Okay, that's not 20 years ago. That's like, hold up. Yes, we did it. Seb Kim. Welcome to the chat, Seb Kim. Hope you had a great day. Hope you all had a great day. Alright. Madeleine McCann. So she disappeared in Praia da Luz in, I'm assuming that's in Portugal. I think it was in Portugal, right? Portugal, oh yeah, Portugal. So, 2007, so that was a long time. What are they making here? They're making, 3D printing houses! I love these videos. They actually look alright. Sky News International. It's cats. They're in the wild. Wildcat kittens. They look like your regular cats, but like, oh, maybe they're kittens, wildcat kittens. They look like literally just regular cats. What does a wildcat look like? Wildcat looks like... Yeah, no, they don't look any different.
Live.
Less than 4 minutes to go, guys, until we figure out who's sitting in number 10 Downing Street.
Less than 40 minutes to go now until the polls close, and we can reveal the result of the broadcaster's exit poll. It may well reveal who will be taking residency in the home of the country's most famous cat. Larry's been living in
I think Larry should be Prime Minister. I think he'd make a great Prime Minister.
He's Chief Mouser to the Cabinet Office and has his own entry on the government's website as well.
But,
now, there's one thing that's certain about election night, and that's the countdown to 10 o'clock when the polls close, and we can release the broadcaster's exit poll. After that,
yeah, so the exit polls are basically just like a prediction off of like what they've gathered from the thing.
We'll know
likelihood is it's going to be Labour's going, oh, here's the thing.
Took place at 11:27 for Newcastle Central. That meant they pipped rival Sunderland by 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, some of them are trying to like beat each other to the punch.
To still be battling to declare first, but they could be pipped by another northeastern constituency of Blythe and Ashington.
I have to find out.
Other seats which could declare early tonight are Basildon and Billericay. That's interesting, we'll tell you why. And also in the south of England, the seats of Swindon North and South, also very interesting. The first seat to declare in Scotland in 2019 was Rutherglen and Hamilton West, and we're at the Rutherglen count tonight. In Wales, it was Caerphilly, and in Northern Ireland, it was North Down. So,
North Down.
Who will be first to declare tonight? My colleague Gillian Joseph is in one of the biggest contenders, and that is Blythe. Hi, Gillian.
Hi, Kay. Yes, I am. Blythe and Ashington. They're hoping to take the crown, to be the first to declare this evening. But there are three other counts where I'm at this evening in Northumberland. That's North Northumberland, Cramlington and Killingworth,
that's definitely
and obviously Blythe and Ashington. Now, North Northumberland is a new seat.
English.
Became a new seat after the boundary changes in the last Parliament. And it's one of the largest seats in the country.
This is where they count up all the votes here. Basically, during the day, so whilst the polls open between
72,000. Cramlington and Killingworth, that's an ex-mining area. Fun fact for you, the pop star musician Sting, he was once a school teacher in Cramlington town. I think his subject was history, if memory serves me correctly, and it was at the St Paul's Roman Catholic School. That is a
honestly,
fact.
I mean,
also Killingworth famous for George Stephenson,
we know who's winning.
The engineer. He made his name in Killingworth.
Right?
We have Hexham, which
is
a big rural area.
Right.
Main industries there, agriculture, forestry and manufacturing. And
I think we all know who's winning here. It's obviously Labour.
Purpose-built prison.
If it's not Labour,
and also some
very
Roman ruins, some remnants of Hadrian's Wall in this constituency. And finally, Blythe and Ashington. Again, a new seat, former mining and shipbuilding constituency. It's the 139th most deprived constituency in the UK, up to probably about 30% of people have never worked in this constituency. But again, tonight, Blythe and Ashington are hoping to take that crown for being first to declare. We think around 11:30, but definitely before midnight. They're very, very confident. So we shall see.
I mean, I'm already planning on moving there anyway
so
in the
we'll
future.
be watching
I mean, that's
those
the plan.
early declarations very closely indeed, and of course many others as well, so we're very much looking forward to that. Let's hear from some of them right now, should we? Our political correspondents now on Matthew Thompson are in Clacton and in Chessington in southwest London.
Clacton's a place where apparently Reform might win.
Is in Farnham in Surrey. And on we go, our communities correspondent Becky Johnson in Birmingham,
Southwest
our Wales
London,
correspondent Dan Whitehead is in Cardiff. We're everywhere, and our senior island correspondent David Blevins is in Belfast.
We get Farnham on here. I've never even heard of Farnham, but we're looking at Manchester. Manchester's like the second largest city in the UK.
Good evening, Kay. I'm in Clacton on the Essex coast. This is a strong Brexit supporting part of the country. 73% of people
Apparently
here
it's going to very likely
voted
to
to leave
be
the European
Nigel
Union
Farage,
back in 2016.
Reform
Around
UK
a
went in
third
there.
of residents are over the age of 65.
Yeah,
and they were the
definitely voting
first
Reform.
to elect a UKIP MP back in 2014 in a by-election after Douglas Carswell defected from the Conservatives. Since 2017, however, this has been a Conservative hold.
Whoever wins
Votes
tonight
will be
is fun.
counted
I mean,
here
we don't find it- we
at the
usually do that-
Clacton
usually they
Leisure
have
Centre
mechanical,
for
but we
two
usually find it around
constituencies,
4 in the morning.
Clacton as well as
So, I'm
Harwich
telling you now, I'm not
and
waking up at 4
North
in the morning
Essex. And we can get the
to-
first of
to
those
let you all
declarations
know.
at around 3 in the morning.
I'm going to bed at like 10:30.
Welcome to the King Centre in Chessington. Now, it's not quite a world of adventures, but it is the venue at which the counts for the constituency of Kingston and Surbiton will take place. The constituency won
Yeah, man, this
at
is
least
gonna
at
be
the
an
last
interesting
two elections by Sir
sort
Ed
of,
Davey,
you know,
the
should we
leader
pop
of the
some,
Liberal Democrats.
please
Now,
come
will he
back
pick it
down,
up
yes.
again, or will any of his no less than 7 challengers have done enough to unseat him? Sir Ed
Yeah.
himself voted here in the constituency earlier this morning and then spent
Which
some
one?
time
Where's
with
my-
his
where's my
family, but we're
regular
not
one?
expecting him
There he
here at the count for a few more hours still. Now, back in 2019, the result here was declared at just after 10 past 3 in the morning. And again tonight, we're
10
expecting
past
the
3
result
in the
some point
morning?
between 3 and 4 a.m.
I think I'm going to bed.
Well, 20 miles or so down the A3,
It's very
welcome to the
square
heart
shaped.
of the
I'll give him
Surrey
that.
stockbroker
John
belt,
Craig.
where more homes
Where
sell
is
for
Farnham?
more
Let's
than
have a
£1
look.
million than anywhere else in the UK. It is an area that has been represented by Conservatives
Farnham,
in
town
Parliament
in England. I
since
bet it's like it's 3 hours from here.
Classic blue wall.
Right. I bet it's like a
Now,
tiny town.
votes in 2 new constituencies. That's Farnham and Borden, and
That's
Godalming and
tiny.
Ash.
Why are we in
Counted here
Farnham?
at the Edge Leisure Centre.
Only
in
3 hours?
Haslemere in the borough of Waverley.
Takes me 5 hours to
The
get to
two
this little place down
constituencies
here.
have been created out of the former South West Surrey seat. Now that
Oh yeah, Surrey's around there.
represented
Oh yeah,
in the
it's gonna be.
past
Surrey's
by
always very
Harold
conservative.
Macmillan's
I
son
know
Morris.
that. I don't know
He was
if
a member
those
of
will be
Edward
saying
Heath's
that way.
cabinet.
Because in fact, that
And
Surrey's had a bit
Virginia
of
Bottomley, who
yeah,
served in John Major's
a tough time.
cabinet. It's
I
one
mean,
of the
come
most
on,
affluent
fucking
parts
farm,
of the
farming.
UK.
Look at the
In both
pictures,
of
the
these
pictures
new
over a wall.
constituencies,
How to Farnham
3 out of 4
get like
residents own their own
like all
home.
this special treatment? Manchester
90% own a car.
Justice for
It's
Manchester, I
even
guess.
claimed that
Free
life
my boy.
expectancy here is well above the national average. They are counting Godalming and Ash first.
Free my boy.
Result of that predicted for round about 3:30 a.m. and then it's Farnham and Borden.
Can't believe Farnham. How they get to.
Good evening from Birmingham, where at times this evening it's felt a bit more like a disco than an election count because they've been testing the sound system with music. But behind me you can see the vote counters starting to come in, and we're going to need dozens of them. They're going to count the votes from 9 constituencies right across this city here tonight, 8 of them being defended by Labour, 1 being defended by the Tories. Of course, Birmingham, the second city, vibrant, multicultural, has one of the largest Muslim populations in Britain. So that will be something to consider as we see the votes, the results start to come in. Now, they're taking it pretty leisurely here this evening, actually. I'm told they're not even going to start counting votes until 11 o'clock, so we're buckling in. We're here for the long haul, but thankfully, I'm reliably informed the coffee shop is staying open all night.
The very border.
Well, good evening from the capital, Cardiff. On this side of the Severn Bridge, you can see that the counters here in Cardiff are starting to come into one of hundreds of leisure centres across the country being used tonight. There are 4 declarations for the Cardiff seats here, and we are expecting a big night in Wales, not just because of the results, but also a real change at this election because of the number of seats, thanks to the boundary changes. The number of MPs representing Wales in Westminster from tomorrow is falling by 20%, going down from 40 to 32, 8 fewer seats. So that is something to keep an eye on. Some 2.3 million people in Wales eligible to vote in this election. Many of those will, of course, voted already through postal votes, but half an hour or so left of the polling stations being open. We're expecting those first results in Wales to come in around 2 a.m.
Well, here in Northern Ireland, we do things a little differently. There are 5 main parties, 2 of them unionist, the Democratic Unionists and Ulster Unionists, 2 of them nationalist, Sinn Féin, and the Social Democratic and Labour Party, and Alliance, which doesn't designate as either unionist or nationalist. We've got 18 constituencies, and don't underestimate their significance. Remember, it wasn't very long ago that a party from Northern Ireland held the balance of power at Westminster, and it is the vote share between those unionists and nationalists that will shape the debate about the future of this place. It hasn't been the busiest of polling days, and that's because Northern Ireland's schools closed for summer last Friday, and lots of people have already voted by post before heading off on holiday. But those votes are very definitely...
Actually, no, I don't want to live in Northern Ireland. It's like the poorest part of the UK.
OK, great. Thanks very much indeed, everybody. Thank you. Back to you shortly. And tonight, Sky News is live at constituency counts covering the length and breadth of the country. Check this out. Here you go. Wow. Almost 200 declarations were in Stornoway in the Outer Hebrides, all the way down to Truro in Cornwall. We're live in Belfast in the west, all the way over to Dover, I should say, in the southeast. We'll be bringing you the results as they come in and analysing what they mean. Just down here to the left is Wigan. I've had it put there specially. Which one has caught your eye?
There's my beloved Lee Sports Village on Lee and Atherton. Can I just correct your correspondent as well? You said Birmingham second city, third city.
Yes.
You know what?
London's the second city.
Aye, now! Damn it.
Obviously.
Anyone you're picking out?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some interesting results coming. I know we're not allowed to talk about them, but the Aberdeenshire two there, the Aberdeenshire North and Murray East and the Aberdeenshire West and Kincardine that you've got up there, both going to be very interesting results.
OK, we were asking if there's a tie, what happens?
I think that what happens is they check it, they recount 1 million times, but then eventually the returning officer draws
Hello,
or they draw straws.
Is that because of me screaming?
Or if you're in Scotland, you can cut cards as well.
In the hall today, because I did do that.
Cut cards?
Sure you can. I'm sure I've seen it.
I don't.
Sure I've seen it.
We'll
fight about it during the break. Coming up next on Election Night, live here on Sky News. In a moment, we'll hear more from our special guest this evening, the Greater Manchester Mayor, there he is, Andy Burnham, and the former Scottish Conservative leader, Baroness Ruth Davidson. And we're still counting down to 10 o'clock, and the exit poll not long to go. We'll be right back.
We probably can't vote, but like still. I don't know who I'm voting for. It ain't gonna be Rishi Sunak, it ain't gonna be Nigel Farage. It's gonna be, of course. No, I don't say Nigel Farage, but no, I don't want him. Why are we going to South Africa? I mean South America, that's far. Oh, look you guys. Very blue. Uh-oh, Honolulu's getting warm. Oh boy. Oh look, the centre of Australia is actually getting a bit of rain. Alice Springs. Look at Indonesia. Absolutely pouring it there. So yeah, they've got us. Southeast Asia getting a lot of rain. Look at North Korea, it's pouring it down there. I don't even give the weather for North Korea anymore, probably because it's like, you did get shot. Himalayas, I could be a weather guy, you know. I could probably do this. I'm an alien from Kepler 11. Alright, buddy. Tel Aviv, 13 degrees. Oh, France getting hit by a storm, isn't it? It looks like we're about to get hit by one. Oh, not a massive storm. We are going to get hit bad. Yikes. Of course, North Africa's getting dry as always. Never rains there. Well, a little bit of Algeria is getting some rain. Go back to South Africa again. Oh, Stanley, 2 degrees. That's chill. Are we going around the... Oh, like a massive storm right off the coast of Mexico. It's like looking like it's going to start blowing there soon. That's what, 8th grade. Independence Day. Oh yeah! American Independence Day. Happy Independence Day to any American buddies out there, guys. Let's have some true American music, guys. Whilst we do this, I'm gonna quickly face again. I don't know where Spotify is. Look at my phone like sat right there. I guess it's move Spotify. Spotify. It's good to my American. I'm gonna play this on my absolute playlist. Oh God, I'm connected to, please. I just want to connect. The 3D printing houses. Kenya, this is nuts. Whoa, it looks like it's pooing. That's crazy. Lucas, can you say USA? Absolutely. USA, everybody. America. I love America. Freedom, democracy, capitalism, doubts, labor, and not China. My bad, wrong country, guys. That's the other capitalist one.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to Election Night Live here on Sky News. With us throughout the night tonight to help us interpret the results of this general election are the Mayor of Greater Manchester, Labour's Andy Burnham, and the former leader of the Scottish Conservatives, Ruth
I'm going to
Davidson.
get my Siri.
Good evening. Good evening. You were wondering how we would fill the first hour, weren't we? Flown by.
I know.
Absolutely flown by.
I was worried whether I could do an all-nighter at my age, but maybe I can. And Ruth, I did the mistake, the schoolboy error of questioning your knowledge of Scottish politics.
You did. What we're going to say, that's never going to happen again.
It won't happen again, I promise you.
Can you believe this, guys? I did this a week ago.
I still don't recognize That's what it is, Andy.
Honestly, I am. I'm hurt. Very cool.
Before we hear from them, well, a little bit more, a little reminder of their political pedigree.
I have very much pleasure in declaring Ruth Davidson the duly elected leader of the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party.
I'm the leader of the Scottish Conservative and Windblown Unionist Party.
Can we bring the white cat in now?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Kind of like
Therefore, I declare that
he looks like he's been on the burgers.
Andy Burnham is duly elected as the Mayor of the Greater Manchester Combined Authority.
I need to... Oh. What's going on here?
Nice to see you.
And you as well. You okay?
Yeah.
In life, you know, maybe things happen for a reason, and I think...
That's, what's his name? That's the guy in charge of Manchester. I love that guy. I need to, like... why can't I see my device? I don't understand.
But do keep following me, at Ruth Davidson MSP. And make sure that you use hashtag #YesSheCan. So, thanks. Let's do this.
Let's do that.
Hold it up. Warm up. Oh, yeah. Right.
I need
What a schoolboy error was that?
Great to be joining the team, and I hope I don't prove to be one of the kind of signings that my football club are prone to make. I hope I can be a bit better addition to the squad than that.
Snacks on election night, what are we all going to have?
And you need some sweet, and you need some savoury, and you need some salt. So I quite like prosciutto or Parma ham. I mean, yeah.
Okay, am I bringing the jelly babies, or are you to get through the night?
Right, guys. Back in business with the camera.
Answer came there, none. Did you bring it?
There we go.
No, I did not.
Tell me if you guys can hear that. I hope you guys can.
Have you brought
I don't think you guys can.
Do you know, some nice people at Sky put 4 packets of 6 slices of room. So I think I'm probably good for about a month, maybe, or we can share it around. Yeah. You can have as much of my Parma ham as you like. Yeah.
Yeah, this is America.
Getting through the night?
Adrenaline.
This is America.
And I've got some Haribos.
Nice.
Down
You
here.
can even see it.
I know, I did that on purpose.
Other sweeties are available.
Oh, yes, sorry. And I've got nuts and Diet Coke. And I've got UK.
And chocolate.
That's all I need.
I've got chocolate as well.
Chocolate.
Yeah. Okay, we're being whizzed along, so let's move on. And hear what you said when you came in yesterday. We had a chat with you, didn't we, yesterday?
Independence Day, ladies and gentlemen.
Stood out for you in
Frick
previous
the US
elections.
Frick
and
the
what you're
US.
most looking
This is
forward to as far
fuck
as
the UK
colours you
elections.
like.
It's
Here we go.
Independence Day, guys.
So
Let's
we've got a
celebrate
very, very
American
busy night
independence
ahead
from
of
this
us.
country I
There've
live
been many
in.
elections in the past. What's your election night routine?
It went inside of
When
me.
I was standing as an MP, it used to be go
it's all
late
over
to
the
the polls. My team always used to say, "Have you not voted
It's
yet?"
all over
We
me.
used to
Oh,
like to
fuck, that's
walk
even
down,
worse. Andy
sort of
Burnham.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, just to get a feel
And he him up on
how
me.
the day is
Ah!
going, the people around the polling station.
Ah!
And I have to admit it, I'd always then pop into the off licence because
I don't think that's meant to happen.
You know what it's like when you've been a candidate. When you get back from the count, you've got to do something to switch off.
The phone seems to have kind of died.
What was your tipple?
Huh?
What's your tipple?
Oh, it was just lager, you know, but...
Can somebody make a note of that, please?
Yeah. You have to do something,
That's
don't you?
Not good.
When you get
Something's
when you
happened,
get back.
and my phone's completely
yeah, it was uniquely draining thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so when I was leading the party
okay,
in Scotland, obviously we would do all of our own stuff that we needed to do. We had to organise when all the leaders went to the polls as well, so you'd coordinate the folk so that like you weren't all in the same place at the same time. I'd take the dog along for extra points, you know, kind of wall to wall on the television because they can't do anything.
Dogs at polling stations.
Dogs at polling stations, hashtag. Yeah, I love a bit of that.
Yeah.
And then on the night itself, I'd be in kind of central office and we'd be watching everything come in. I'd go along to my own count if it was an election that I was standing in. And obviously in Scotland we have lots of elections for the Scottish Parliament and the local elections, and as well as Westminster. And then you kind of go along to one of the big counts, and the way some of it works, there's sometimes 4 or 5 seats that get counted in a central place. So in Glasgow or in Edinburgh or whatever, go along to one of those and then do all the media rounds. So I would tend to be up right the way through the night. But you know, there's something about it, like win, lose or draw.
Did you enjoy it?
Loved it. I mean, I absolutely love the job of politics, and even though there's bits of the job, there's bits I don't miss at all, and my lifestyle and being able to, you know, be at home for my family and my child and everything makes such a difference. But there's the only kind of FOMO I get is election campaigns. I actually don't miss being in the Scottish Parliament.
Did you ever find?
I love campaigns. I love them.
In 15 minutes, you guys will get to figure out who's going to be our next Prime Minister. This is going to be great.
You're just a little bit more tired and a tad more emotional maybe, and a bit frayed at the edges.
More grumpy.
Yeah, but then you're
paranoid.
But then you're out there in the middle of the glare, and it's in many ways when you've got to be more at it, you know, in terms of your kind of focus.
I always had a bit of an emptiness because you have such a crescendo and you can't, you don't have time to think, never mind breathe during a campaign, and then it all leads up to this one day, and you know, I was always kind of a worker on polling, so I go around different polling stations, I do phone canvassing, I do everything, do all the get the vote out stuff myself because I wanted to, I didn't want to be idle. And then when it hits, like even if you've been re-elected or even if you've done well, like, I always had a sadness because it was over, and there's an emptiness, and it's just this loneliness almost of having a really close team that you work with, and then it's gone.
What about when the returning officer, because we'll have plenty of those.
Yep.
What about when the returning officers are about to tell you, even though you've seen the piles, you still, there must be that little bit of butterflies.
Oh yeah, it kind of though comes earlier in the day, Kay. It's kind of when you wake up, you think, are people actually going to go out and put a
I just want to see what the results of these exit polls
people are going to do it, and you just think
these exit polls basically. If you guys were ahead of the game, these exit polls
happen. So all day you just have this mad worry about the weather, are people going to turn out, or then you're worrying about something else and then something else. But then finally you get to the
They determine basically
that's when it's all right,
using
you see, isn't it?
data, I guess, from like
that's
people
when you feel,
voting
Top 3 highlights
in the exit polls and stuff.
First
they then
elected
from there
is always up
decide.
there.
They
So
then
I got
give their own
elected
results, and
in
usually they're quite accurate. They are
2011
like
in
really easy
Glasgow
off
as a
by a couple
Conservative,
seats,
so that
and from
was
there
not
they'll
a
decide.
stick on. You know, that wasn't a given. That was quite a tough
who's
gig
won,
to
who's
do, and
come
we
second, who's
didn't
come
know
last,
if we were
blah, blah,
getting over the line till right.
And these exit
right
polls
at
are
the very
quite
end. It was
accurate.
very
Not
close.
obviously not the last thing.
I
The last
think
thing we'll find out probably 4 in the morning after the 4 you guys went in.
The Scottish Party overtook Labour, became an official opposition.
4 in the morning if you guys want to find out who's going to be your next Prime Minister. So, if you think I'm going to stay until
I didn't see that result
4 in
coming
the
in, so
morning
that
to
was
do that,
a pleasant surprise.
it's not happening.
And
I've won.
individually
Yes,
getting
Lucas.
people
Hello,
elected,
guys.
so some of the
Welcome to
candidates that are
stream.
really
You guys
wanted
having a great
elected.
day. I know.
Best 3 for you.
Oh,
yeah, who you want to win?
Standout rather than best.
Standout is the 2005 election, which had been a difficult sort of parliament and came to the end of it. And my daughter Annie was born 10 days before polling day, so I just have vivid memories of it. It was really hot at the time, just going between Warrington Hospital and then back out campaigning, and but then
the
to
UK
be
elections.
at the count
But obviously,
with her,
it is of course also Independence Day in America.
So the baby and the
so
dog.
obviously we got
Yeah.
brownie points everywhere.
See my briefs and oh my freezers here. Because I was trying to figure out freezers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, then it was
I need
into becoming a minister right at that election. So
What
that's
do I
the
need? I need
one
a
that sticks out. And as
tally
Ruth said, the first time you're elected, exhilarating, isn't it? For that first time when you
I just need a tally
oh my
chart.
God, I'm going into Westminster.
Tally chart.
And
Tally
that experience of those days when
I
you
just
then
need
go
a tally
down and
chart,
you walk
please.
into the Commons
Free.
for the first time. You can't believe how small it is. But
Online.
I can always remember hyperventilating at that experience. You know,
I'll take the cookies, thank you. I don't want to buy it. No, thank you. You don't get any of my cookies then.
Many people on whatever side.
Who do you guys want to win? Oh, I use this all the time, actually.
So I just need to write a list of what you want to get you through the night on election night.
Are
you doing the charge, are you?
Yeah.
I've set Largo's mic, but allowed in the Sky News. This is the Monday Night Football studio.
Exactly.
Surely there's Largo. It must be everywhere around.
You can have whatever you want. Do you know, I'm
going
to be a bit more
you guys have a couple options. So let's say we'll
but I'm going to go for the cafe. Get back to Spain. Yeah,
maybe someone wants to vote SNP. I don't know how you guys are feeling.
All of them have been fulfilled, I sincerely hope. Absolutely. Okay, now we've got a couple of seats that particularly or a couple of areas that are particularly.
You guys might be feeling SNP. I don't know.
Lee and
so we're going to put SNP.
And we're going to go to Glasgow. For a whole bunch of seats all get counted in the same room at the same time. About 6, is that right? Something like that, yeah. That's Connor, he's there for us, Connor.
Hi, Kay. Yes, Scotland's biggest city here in Glasgow, and you're absolutely right. 6 seats being counted here. The excitement is building. The ballot boxes will be arriving through the doors on the stroke of 10 o'clock tonight. But it's not just the story here in Glasgow, it's the bigger picture across the country. 57 seats in total across Scotland are up for grabs in this election. And we'll bring you the full story first, clearly, on how that picture may or may not change in the coming hours, all the way from the Western Isles right the way down to the Scottish borders, explaining what it means for Scotland and clearly across the UK as well. We're expecting the first Scottish result probably around 1 o'clock this morning. We'll bring it to you as soon as we have it.
Yeah, like, oh no, not like
Meantime,
that.
Shingy's like standing by for us as well in God's own country. Hi, Shingy. Tensions mounting there, I'm sure.
Reform us perfectly. Lib Dems are more like an orange.
Yeah, for sure, Kay, and it's good to be here. First thing to mention is the seat has been expanded to include Atherton, which used to be in the Bolton West constituency.
Like the logo
and Lee's last result in 2019 was a bit of a seismic shock, really.
They're big advertising posters. You know, like people pass out their homes. Lib Dems is literally just a massive orange triangle that says Lib Dems, and then like in the middle, like a big road sign kind of. There's this one house I go past every day on the way to school.
The last mine here closed in 1992. They've had to reinvent the economy here, and a large part of that I heard Andy mentioning earlier is the Lee Sports Village where I'm standing. It's home to the Lee Leopards Rugby League team, as well as Manchester United's women's team and academy. And I think that, as well as the fact that this is one of the largest towns in England without a railway station, will be fresh on voters' minds as they finish putting in their ballots. So all of that is of interest. The declaration is coming in at about 1:30 a.m. tonight.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks both. Very close now to the moment the voting stops and we can reveal the exit poll. I can feel
this house right here plastered in Lib Dems. Like just plastered in it. They love the Lib Dems.
Feeling quite tense
I know.
now.
I've got it.
Can you feel it? My energy.
Yeah, I can. I'm from this side as well.
Right,
You've got that glint, Kate. Like I think you're going to. Sorry, Beth. I think you're going to do naughtiness tonight. I think you're going to say something, or maybe just I don't know, just. Push something out that you're not 100% sure of. Live on Sky News, please do not swear. No. But I can tell when you when you're feeling it.
Woman.
You're feeling it tonight, aren't you?
I'm very excited.
Trevor.
Yeah.
I'm just getting very frightened.
Because I know she's not going to do anything to you, but I'm sitting really close, right?
You'll give it that.
I want you to understand.
So, I mean, if I could vote, I'd definitely vote Lib Dems.
I'll treat you gently, Trevor.
Thank you.
Now, the world is very different this year, 2024, to the time of the last election almost 5 years ago in 2019. No pandemic.
I don't know.
That would be serious, as Boris Johnson won victory for the Conservatives. This was what the country looked like after the election 5 years ago.
I don't know
an electoral map which delivered a
majority
for the Conservatives. Who do you think is going to win the Euros? Many of these constituencies have altered shape and size since then because of boundary changes. And that's not the only change. A huge roster of well-known faces is stepping down as well.
Well, some breaking news for you now. And the former Prime Minister Theresa May has told her local newspaper that she will not be standing in the next general election.
Former Prime Minister Theresa May is the biggest name leaving Parliament voluntarily. She's among 75 Conservatives who are not running for re-election.
I do think
also standing down are the former Deputy Prime Minister, that's Dominic Raab, Michael Gove, who's served in Cabinet under 4 Conservative Prime Ministers, And the Health Secretary during the pandemic, that's Matt Hancock.
Traumatic family
Everybody
beef.
comes into this place wanting to make their country
I know the favourites to win right now are
I've tried my
England,
hardest to do that.
34
Germany,
of Labour's MPs in the last Parliament are not running again. They include the veteran former minister, Sir Ben Bradshaw, and the Conservative defector, Natalie Elphicke. And also, two of Labour's most experienced MPs, the first female Foreign Secretary, Dame Margaret Beckett, and the Mother of the House, Harriet Harman.
When you discover that the Prime Minister was only 2 years old
could be England
when you
versus
were first
Netherlands.
elected, you realise it is time to move on.
But France can
The
only
small
really go
parties
against
are also losing some of their biggest
England,
names.
Switzerland,
The
Netherlands,
SNP's
and
former leader
Turkey
at Westminster,
really
Ian
well.
Blackfoot,
Chicken
is
balls,
not
welcome to
standing
Stream
again,
Cade and hope you
nor
enjoy
is
it.
the
Hope you
SNP's
guys are
Mary
having a great
Black,
day. I know,
who
I
became the
definitely have.
youngest ever
But yeah,
MP when
Turkey,
she was
they could
elected
win
in
it. I don't know.
2015.
Actually, we probably
Meanwhile,
should be
the
paying
Greens
attention.
are
The
losing
Green
former
Party
leader
person,
Caroline
she
Lucas.
looks like she's high.
So whatever tonight's results, with a total
10
of
minutes, guys.
132 MPs not standing again, the makeup of the House of
So
Commons will
anyone who went there
feel
before,
very different.
Exit polls basically just get like a bunch. They basically just get a survey of people.
It's time to
and
take
they look at like, the trends, and that's what the YouGov polls are. But the exit polls basically people participating who actually vote
on behalf of
these.
Sky News, the BBC, and ITV
they actually
News.
try and
It's questioned
ask people while
thousands
they're
of
leaving
people
polling
in
stations.
133 locations
And
across
from
the
there, they try
country
and give a
on
prediction of
how
who they
they
think's gonna win
voted
from there.
today.
And they're usually really
I
accurate.
can certainly. Andy's taking his jacket off.
I'm really nervous. I just, for us, you know, because we've been out for so long, and it's been tough. And
Euros,
I know,
go
obviously, I've seen hundreds and thousands of friends in the Labour movement. I just know what
Spain,
all the
Germany, or England.
people, they're just, I don't know.
All
Everyone's
watching us, waiting for the exit.
Yeah, and it's a big moment actually in the history of the country, really, isn't it? This is a big moment, isn't it?
Heather?
Honestly, I'm just gonna.
It's a very long
if
time
England,
since
if
I
France
had a
versus England and
spectacularly
France
unsuccessful
win,
political career, but I remember this moment. You two have been in it.
If France make it to
actually
the finals,
you're waiting, you just don't know what's going to happen.
See, the finals
they're going to win.
It's 14th July. 14th July.
I was in Ed Miliband's shadow cabinet in 2015.
So either way, there's going to be riots in France.
And
no
the
matter what,
deflation
even if France
when
don't
that
get to
came,
finals, there's going to be riots.
and then you've got to go to your count.
But there's a thing that happens before, because if you think you've got a good chance of winning, what you're praying is, please don't let anything go wrong. If you think you're going to lose, you're still you're hoping some there's a miracle. Give me this one miracle. So there's people all over the country.
Either way, it's riots in Paris.
Suspended state. And by the way, there's also people who
England, they win. I know it'll be ecstatic. People will be celebrating. People will be drunk. People everywhere. It will be nuts. I remember when England lost. Because France got out pretty clearly in the Euros 2020.
And that happens more often than you think. So it's
England
it happens at
really
Westminster, but because we have lists of some of the
like,
devolved administrations, that happens
a
lot because people that don't win first past the post, other people come in off of lists. And I have literally had to try and get candidates out of their bed to get to account because they didn't think they were going to win, and because of some machination, it happened, and they were asleep because they were never going to make it, and parties ringing and ringing them like, get out of your bed, get to the leisure centre. I know of a different party where somebody was manning the tills at Tesco when they got elected and they didn't know, and it really was a big change. And then how do you tell your wife about an exit poll and what it actually means? We've talked you through it. So how accurate are exit polls? 2010, the Conservatives predicted to be the largest party with 307. That number was exactly correct. They are more and more accurate all the time. It is a projection at this stage, but it's enough to make you anxious.
Very, but hopeful. This is for us, for the Labour Party, the Labour movement. This is a really big moment to come back in one Parliament. Given the scale of the defeat last time, it could be huge for us. So obviously we're just waiting now to see. But I actually feel that this would be a big moment for a lot of young people in the country as well. I just want to say that quickly. Okay, there's a lot of people under 30, perhaps more likely to vote for Labour, who've only ever had negativity on them. They've only ever had a terrible experience. There's been rough times that they've been introduced to politics. Tonight, for them, could be their best, most uplifting. I hope so, but we'll see.
Every time I see it, every time I see Mr. Beast, my pants just unzip themselves.
I'm very excited.
I can see that.
And when I wasn't a political journalist on television, I would sit and watch exit polls, and I would watch it all night. So I am
3 minutes left until the polls close. Let's go.
Where the die is cast,
I just realised how funny of a clip that would be.
Unfolds, and it's the most
England playing against
everything I've just said is
exhilarated.
I think it
is a national moment. So little we do know. We have to do an exact time and an exact place, so that we get to share it with all our neighbours. Something like this really does happen, and all these WhatsApp groups around the country will be going mad, you know, talking about this and that.
Taking Andy's point, we don't know if there's going to be a change in government, but if there is, I think it will be the first time anybody under 45 will have voted in an election where there's been a change of this kind. So it's momentous.
Watch this.
Momentous.
And you've been told not to put your glasses on by your mum until after the exit poll.
They're going on soon. Yeah. The mad thing is, I thought you would know by now.
Yeah, no, it's
the thing is that no one does.
That's it, guys. And I said, don't
that's it.
Okay.
Because I want to enjoy the moment when everybody else is doing it at the same time.
You know, everyone who's
so if you're watching at home,
I
don't know.
In my video tomorrow. I'm going to do 2 videos tomorrow.
I have no idea what the result is. What I do know is in 2 minutes' time, just a little bit over, we'll know exactly, as far as the exit poll is concerned, what has happened. Somebody who's been in that
one about
for the first time ever is our
everyone
Ed,
who's
of
in
course.
chat
He will leave where they have been crunching those numbers very shortly.
So, yeah.
We've got a cab for him specially.
Yeah, hope you guys
Beth's
all
not
like
even
great
looking
day.
at me
I
anymore.
just over a minute now
and he
until
will
we
be
get
heading
these polls.
this way
Have a good stream.
to let us
See you
know
tomorrow,
exactly
bro.
what
Have a
happened
nice
when
day, Kate.
those
Hope you
numbers
have a
were
great
being
rest of your day.
crunched. So the campaigning is
Take
over.
care.
The leaders and their foot
honestly,
soldiers
man, this
can
is,
do no more Starmer,
a scary time
Sunak,
to be watching.
and their main players will be anxiously awaiting the results.
You know what? I'm going to put
I
can't put the playlist in the.
Will it be a clear majority?
I can't put my playlist.
Will it be
I can't put any links. If I can, I will drop my Spotify playlist. This one here in the background,
with
the America one.
expectations outlined in previous polls over the last 6 weeks? Could it provide us with a narrative for the night based on what we have seen?
Less than a minute now. The final countdown.
133 polling stations around Britain have been asked to duplicate their ballot. They did. This is what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. The exit poll 2024.
Yeah, we do have a mayor. They have a mayor too. Oh, we can see here. Yes, Freaky Bob! Freaky Bob! Freaky Bob! See you in 15 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the road, guys. Rika.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh my God.
America. Fuck yeah.
You can see from his face in just a second. You can see how Andy has reacted.
This funny because that thing literally hit.
Landslide.
That's the exit polls. Oh wow.
Some Conservatives.
Nigel Farage. How is he getting 13 seats when he's on TikTok talking about big chunkers? This whole thing's a joke.
The Lib Dems on 61 seats. What a campaign he has had.
I'm getting a call.
Ed Davey, as I was saying to the team just yesterday, his midlife crisis coinciding with this election campaign, and it looks like he's potentially secured 61 seats for his party. As far as the SNP is concerned, I don't know how you describe it in Scotland, but we say in Lancashire, it looks as though they've been absolutely battered. And look at the numbers for Reform, potentially up to 13 seats. Wow. That's where some of the Conservative votes from last time will have gone. Beth Rigby, I was giving you a moment. Go.
Yeah, that is an incredible result. If you think that Starmer said he had to climb a mountain, he has scaled Everest there and taken off into orbit. Looking at that, that is implied majority. If this is correct, and it's only a prediction of 170, it would be the second biggest Labour majority ever. only slightly behind Tony Blair in 1997. It is an incredible result when you think Labour in the last general election had its worst performance case since 1935. They were written off. They were consigned to perhaps a decade or more out of power. It is, I would say, a landmark moment. It's been half a century since any Labour leader won a majority, the last one being, of course, Tony Blair. There's a whole generation of people who won't be able to remember a Labour government, and that is a consequential win because Keir Starmer wanted a decade of renewal. He might have it. For the Tories, just to say, that's the worst performance ever. That is worse than Balfour in the Liberal line side in 1906. Look at reform. Look at Lib Dems. The subtext of this is not just the implosion of the Tories, but the rise of the other in this general election.
Let's see the reaction when we said Labour 410, a majority predicted of 170s. The Conservatives properly getting a drubbing. Reform, as Beth was saying, potentially on 13 seats. This is how our experts reacted when they first saw the landslide.
Oh my God.
Live cam, clean. I've been learning my Welsh. Maddie, learning my Welsh.
Let me put some meat on those bones for you, should I? Because we're going to be talking about this throughout
love
the night. The
America.
exit poll suggesting
Specifically Texas,
Jeremy
love
Hunt
that
will
place.
become the
Great.
first
Big
Chancellor
fields.
to lose his seat
How, like, I
at
don't
a general
understand how,
election.
like,
A possible gain
people
for the Lib
like,
Dems
so many people
in
still
Godalming
vote
and Ash.
Conservatives, especially after
Also
what they've
possible
done
Lib
to
Dem
this
gains,
country,
Alex
like, it's a
Shaw,
mess.
Justice
I
Secretary
don't even,
in
like,
Cheltenham, Lucy
Green
Fraser.
Party. How did they only
Ely
get 2 seats?
And East Cambridgeshire. She
Yikes.
is, of course, the Culture
Let's see.
Secretary of the Cabinet
I
Ministers.
could say, because I did say that I do know 2 people who would have voted for Green.
Defence in
Alright.
Welwyn.
So I
Johnny
guess those
Murphy,
2 people got the 2
Veterans
seats.
Minister. The exit poll saying it's too
But
close
yeah,
to call
man.
for.
I'm assuming Green will probably get more than
Basildon
that.
and
I'm assuming
Billericay, and early
Conservatives got to
declaring
get
that
less than that, surely.
as well. Could be
No
for
way.
Penny Mordaunt
That many people are still
in
voting.
Portsmouth. You're running out of people who could potentially be the next leader.
like,
Victoria
yeah, I know you. I
Atkins,
know you.
the Health Secretary in trouble in Lythe and Horncastle. Steve Barclay.
Like,
Defra
how
in
I say good every
Cambridgeshire.
time.
I don't understand. It doesn't get any sense.
Play nice.
They
We've
are,
got a
like,
long way to go. Mark
corrupt.
Harper,
There's, like,
Forest of
completely
Dean,
bankrupted this
Transport,
country.
Mel
We have,
Stride,
like, the highest,
work and pensions.
the highest
I need to
taxes
put in a shift
in
this election
Europe.
campaign.
Have a look.
That poor
have
bloke's
the
never been off the
lowest
telly, has
Have a
he?
look. Which of those are you
pension
surprised at?
in Europe. We have the
In
worst.
terms of, well, I'd be oh, right, in terms of the pictures up there, at least at Rishi Sunak, I thought you were saying he was going to
I would actually be pretty surprised if Richmond went. We'd be in real trouble.
Good night, Olivia. Hope you have
I mean, I
great
think
rest of your
it
night.
was well trailed.
Hopefully,
I think
Freak
if
Bob does
Tonbridge goes,
not
that's a likely Conservative hold. I'm
interrupt
pleased to see that in terms of Tom Tugendhat.
Don't
Too
let
close to
Freak
call.
Bob there. You best believe it.
It's funny,
Best
Beth and I were
believe it.
talking before we went on air, and the word coming out of Central Office was that we could be below 3 figures in terms of seats. There was a chance, so actually 131. While, I mean, there's no dressing this up, this has been... This is a massacre.
Oh
It is a
yeah,
massacre.
let's go, Freaky
They've
Bob.
actually,
Let's get
if this
freaky.
is right, pulled a few back from where they thought they were.
I don't
They pulled a good
understand,
few
though.
dozen back from where
How
they
is
thought they were,
it-
because
how
there was 80
has,
that we
like,
thought we had.
Stay safe,
with another
guys.
possible 40 to 60
I don't understand
in
how, like,
play.
Conservatives get this
And
much.
we
I
seem
mean,
to
they're
have got
just
most
bankrupt
of
the whole
the upper end
country.
of
Have
that.
you seen it?
But
It's
I mean, we
a
were
whole
hearing the same
mess.
thing, weren't we, Beth?
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Good
Trevor.
night,
Yeah,
Freak.
look, the fact that it is
Honestly,
not
this is like,
huge
this is incredible.
surprise, these
See,
numbers
guys,
doesn't
community
make it
brings
less
us closer.
momentous. I mean, this
Together
is
we're
very
stronger.
big, and,
I love
Beth's
that's like
given
I
some
love
of the
DJ Khaled.
numbers.
Absolutely
I think
fire
the thing that
quotes.
will be interesting to see as the
Life
night
is
goes on is what we see from the smaller parties. Because the real question, I think, here
I know
is
this
going to be,
song.
is
Absolutely
this
fire.
a thumping Labour victory, or is it really a massive
It wasn't
defeat
the one I was
for the
thinking, but I guess
Tories?
so. The
Because I think what we...
Can we call ourselves
Both?
that? The freaky
Well, you can have
community,
both, but the
freaky
point is, what has caused this? And the question is,
That'd be
has
nuts.
Nigel Farage and Reform
Freaks. The
divided
Freak Squad.
the vote on the right to
That
the
sounds
extent that it's
incredible.
allowed Labour to amass this great number, or is there truly enthusiasm for
yikes.
Labour? We don't know.
Yes,
we'll see
please.
how
All
it
right,
goes
guys,
on over the
official.
night. But I
All
think
of my
the
subscribers
numbers
and
we
all the
should
people
also be looking at
who are
are
here
those numbers
tonight,
at the end there.
who are
I mean,
all members
the
of the
Dems big result.
You guys are all members of the Freak Squad.
It's
guys,
since
always
the
remember,
80s or 90s.
keep
They got
going
62 in 2005.
Whenever you're about to do something, guys, remember, what would Freak Bob do, right? What would Freak Bob do in this situation?
They were the coalition years with Cameron and
TNT,
Clegg, and then after that they were massacred, taken out.
And the thing is, look at
and now
guys,
they are
hold
back.
that thought a second. Ed Conway was actually in the room. Ed, you saw the reaction here. What was it like where you are?
Should have gotten the most seats. Absolutely.
I mean,
bet. All right, you know what? I'm gonna make my manifesto right here for you guys.
I was there.
All right, I'm gonna make my manifesto right here.
These numbers were being
Let's
put
open up
together,
Google
and so,
Docs.
you know, I have a bit of kind of extra colour I could perhaps give you on just on the numbers. You know, first off, just the scale of what we're looking at. We have never seen an electoral collapse.
What do we?
Like
you know what, guys?
So
I'm not only am I making this, but you guys are too. What we're putting in, what we feeling like, guys? Freak Squad. I don't want to know. Freak Squad
has been
Freak
worse
Squad.
Than anything we can see going back decades, possibly ever. It's worse than the Lib Dems
I'll print this out and I'll show it off on
2015,
TikTok.
which up until
We've
now
got to make
was
it. We've got to make it freaky though. Oh yeah, you best believe it's going to be freaky. Absolutely freaky. We've got to use. Come on, let's use IBM Plex Mono. We've got to show with business.
The record of the swing. So
what are we feeling like, guys? What's our policies? I think there's one obvious policy. We've got to have a show with Rishi Sunak just chasing
although we'll have to see when those numbers come in. Obviously, the majority itself, around 170 Conservatives themselves, a number of Conservatives MPs, on track for being basically the worst in the history of the Conservative Party. It is the modern Conservative Party, the worst I've seen going back to the 1830s. So there are just record after record.
He's got to be able to watch it. If he's in it, he's got to watch it.
One thing that ties everything together is people have gone out there, according to the exit poll, and I should say all of this is what the exit poll is suggesting. It does have an excellent record, but we do need to see whether it's borne out by the results that we get in constituency after constituency. But everything suggests people
so what I'm thinking of, that's not good.
Essentially voting in constituencies around the country against the Conservative Party. And that question of how much support Labour have, well, looking at the share of the vote, looking at the implied share of the vote from what we know from the exit poll, it implies a share of the vote that's lower than Jeremy Corbyn received in 2017, considerably lower.
Right, guys, what
so
we're feeling
people will ask, does this mean support for Keir Starmer, or does it mean that people just simply wanted to vote the Conservatives out?
If they're
the Reform Party doing better than so many people had expected, with 13 seats up obviously from 0 as a new party. But even more significantly, their share of the vote looks like it's greater than the Liberal Democrat share of the vote, and the Lib Dems have come away with 61 seats. So Reform having an enormous impact on this election, partly in terms of destroying a lot of the Conservative support, partly in terms of getting some of those MPs. But broadly speaking, that message that the Conservatives were trying to give, vote Reform, get the Labour Party, well, that's precisely what's happened. As for whether this is a supermajority or not, I think that's one of those arguments. Final thing I would just say, the SNP, this is a story that might well be dwarfed by this UK narrative in terms of the UK House of Commons.
That was not on the thing, but you know what, we're going to put that in. We're not going to put that in the manifesto.
MPs in Scotland. So some extraordinary stories, Kate, but we'll bring you more data, more charts in the coming hours.
I love how right now we're watching election results. Sunderland. Have they got the official
looking at the screen now to declare in 2024.
They're getting all the things ready.
Is Sunderland. We are going to monitor that for you.
We're going to keep going until like 10. Not in the manifesto. Okay, not in the manifesto, guys.
And also Sir Robert.
What we're feeling like, guys. What we're feeling like. So, in the manifesto, obviously, we're going to have.
Conservatives are used to winning elections. If the exit poll is to be believed. Not tonight.
Adventures of Rishi Sunak.
No, indeed, a very bad result for the Conservatives. Not a surprise, because all the polls have said Conservatives will do very badly. And this latest exit poll is not at the disastrous level where we're not even going to be the official opposition, but it's still an extremely bad result for the Conservatives. And I do buy into the line that I think the public were very angry. They'd felt let down by the government over.
Gotta let little bro at least watch his own thing.
The handling of COVID and lockdown, they were unhappy about the
There's going to be so many funny clips from this stream. I've got to make a compilation of them. At the end of the year, guys, I'm going to get all the best clips from all these streams.
Inflation, and they were just passing a judgment on the
Everyone must have a house and a pet
they've
called
ended up with
that should be it.
a very distorted parliament, a parliament with a very flattering majority to the Labour Party, as it's probably got a relatively small share of the vote compared with past practice. But it's also the result of a big split in the vote of those who disagreed with Labour between Reform and the Conservatives. So those two parties have ended up with very few seats.
No, one word.
Sir Robert Buckland, whose fault is it?
Freak bug is one word.
Well, look, I think first of all,
Go
the
away.
mistake that we must avoid
what's next in the manifesto? I feel as if we have to have something about like
the electorate is always right
very real,
in its
obviously,
decisions, and we've got to
Should we put
respect
something about
the scale of this likely defeat and then learn from it. It's going to take some time to come back from this. I was a candidate in '97,
they're getting all the stuff
and I know what it feels like to taste bitter defeat. I think the time for recrimination is not now. I think a lot needs to be looked at in terms of the cumulative build-up of events that led to this whole-scale rejection of the Conservatives. I think it would be a mistake for people in my party to jump to a conclusion that somehow allying with Reform would be the way forward. It seems to me that the Conservative Party has got to rebuild the coalition of support that it painstakingly created in 2010 and then renewed in 2019 in order to stand a chance of forming a government in the near future. This is going to take a long time to recover.
Looking at the exit poll, we're being told that
so the Greens had one.
You're going to lose your seat to
Where did the Greens get their one vote from? I want to actually know where they got their. You see, Sinn Féin. I don't know if you guys saw the other day.
I'm used to what defeat looks like, and I'm prepared for it. But I'm not. My political life is not over. I feel a bit like Tony Benn tonight, that I believe in Parliament to spend more time on politics. I've got causes dear to my heart, such as autism, disability, justice, that I will be fighting for just as hard outside Parliament as I used to.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm ready for whatever.
Talk about diabetes. This man is living. He's living on thin ice.
Like
Talk about thin ice.
He's living on just the same.
He's living on thin ice. He's living on thin spices.
Indeed, so there.
My gosh, he's either constipated, sunburned, or got severe diabetes, or a bit of all three.
Terrible defeat.
That
You've
guy
really lost 2/3 of your seats.
Living life
correct.
on the edge.
How do
this
you
is 2017. We're talking 2019, buddy.
To rebuild, what do you want to see come from this?
Green.
Well, I think there will need to be a reshaping, and there will need to be careful
Sinn
choice
Féin
of
will,
personnel.
everyone's like
We
saying
don't
like
yet
Sinn
know
Féin
who has
traitor.
lost
I
their
don't know what's
seats, so
happening.
it's too early to speculate. I trust
of
that Rishi
insulin.
Sunak wins the seat, and he will carry on for an interim period while the party
That's
thinks
really
through
bad,
what it
man.
would
I
like
find
to
that
do
so
next.
funny.
There will need to be a new chairman of the 1922 committee anyway, because
Ford
we
Focus
are
RS.
one
Oh,
has
that's
retired
beautiful. I love that
from
car.
Parliament, and that's quite an important post in these circumstances.
Whoever
There
brought
needs
this
to be
Ford
a
Focus
leader
RS, that's so.
of
I
the
wish
new
they still
team
made it,
of
but they can't.
MPs assembling
Plaid
when
Cymru
Parliament
has got
meets,
4.
because they will have a very big role to play in deciding who's going to lead them going forwards, what kind of party it's going to be.
Get those 4. You got
lessons we
more
learned
than
from what is
you got
likely
2
to
more.
be
Double
a bad defeat,
thingy.
and there will be a clash of ideas.
Chat,
because
I
there's
really
been a big
need a
argument
car.
about
Why do you
ideas
need a
going
car,
on
buddy?
over the last 5 years.
But John, when you see
What car
reform
we thinking?
potential on
What car we thinking?
13
We
there,
thinking
do you think
sporty,
the party needs to tack to the
small,
right with a future leader,
or do you just want
stay
like
in
the
the
most
centre
ridiculous
ground?
thing possible?
I think it needs to tack to popular
know a
and
bit of all
credible
three.
beliefs that people will
Sporty.
support.
My friend
I don't
Henry's the
think
one
this
you want
right
to
left
speak
thing
to.
means very much.
He knows more
And
about
I do
cars.
think
I know more about
people
just the average daily
responded
driver.
badly to the
And a lot I know
inflation,
about
to the failure to control our borders, and to the way that COVID was handled and the result.
I just have a different take on it, John. I mean, I remember the Conservative Party when I went into Parliament. It was a different party than this one still at this election. You've got to decide now whether you're a wholly owned subsidiary of Reform, because that's what you've become.
Right, so is it one
don't
that
wanna be
opens
dragged
or one
in
that's
that
just got like a
direction
glass
over the years.
roof? Like a
Sensible
glass roof that you
people
can
were
see
pushed
outside,
out, pushed
or
away.
like one that like
Ken
actually opens
Clark,
up and you
Rory
can stick your head
Stewart,
out.
Theresa May. This is, you know, you may as well be Reform, and you should be owning this is this is the worst result in the history of the Conservative Party.
So it had nothing to do with reform, and if you look
See,
at
it's
the
still
senior
there.
figures of this
Diabetes
government,
still on the screen.
If you look at David
I love
Cameron as
it.
Foreign Secretary, and you look at
Love you,
Jeremy Hunt
diabetes. One that
as
opens.
Chancellor
Yikes.
Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, this was a very
Is there many
moderate
cars that do that?
conservative balanced ticket. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, the 5 years had not gone well for the public, and so we got the result. But you're quite
They're all
wrong about
expensive.
where
You
we
can get
are.
key
in the party, and I don't see it.
I just had a massive bomb go off.
This is a classic case of.
I know the IRA were in Manchester. Either that or it's fucking ISIS. Or you never know, the Taliban could be paying for
actively putting off from
Osama, is that you?
We upset pensioners.
I thought he's dead.
Making the cut to
I thought we killed him. But I could be wrong. You never know.
Mortgage payers because of the Liz Truss year put hundreds of pounds.
Oh, Fiat.
We upset young people.
Fiat 500.
The idea of this national
Maddie, you're Italian. You love Fiats, right? Every Italian person loves Fiat.
Remainers by being the party of Brexit in 2019.
We're on the French website because it's the best one. You can see all the cars are selling.
Because we promised them that immigration would go down.
Maybe this car.
So how do you cobble together a group of people that are going to vote for a party if you don't have a coherent narrative?
As long as, I mean, see, if you're alright with it being electric.
If you run probably one of the worst campaigns in living memory, and if you have also lost your reputation for competency in government and for sound money. I mean, without these coalitions, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're on the right of the party.
Oh, if you have a look for my local constituency,
if you upset all these groups of voters, you're never going to win. So, you know, this was a defeat that was long in the coming.
Well, I think Ruth and I understand our party.
Yes,
it was a result of bad government.
You've got a question for Bob Buckland.
Yeah, I just wanted to put to Rob Buckland, who I interviewed several times. Rob Buckland, the basic problem here is that the electorate clearly didn't really know what Conservative party they were voting for.
Is it Plaid Cymru?
What Ed Conway says about the potential
share oh wait, I forgot I lived near Bridge Hall. Maybe it's just some guy pulling a gun out because that happened a couple months back.
Maybe not the same level as Conservatives, but close enough.
Yeah, why are they not looking for Jason? Why are they looking for Madeleine McCann? I think she's just dead. I think it's safe to say she's dead.
That Boris Johnson put together in 2019.
I think it's safe to say Jay Slater's dead as well, but like, alright, Maddie, which one we think you want?
What Tory party do you want people to vote for?
Oh, the Caprio. This is the one with the...
Well, Trevor, I'd love to see what the projected share is as well, because it may well be a horrible sort of inversion of what happened in the 80s when the left and the centre-left was split and the Conservatives enjoyed big majorities, and their choices were made then by the Labour Party to stop veering to the extreme left of British politics and to come back to the common ground. But, you know, John Redwood is right about this. Left and right, you know, isn't really where we should be debating. What we should be talking about is generational politics. And my big concern is that we did not have a compelling offer to younger, aspirational people who want to own their own home, who want to have a stake in our society, who want to believe in a future that is more hopeful than the past. I don't think we had anything really constructive to say to them, rather than more than steady as she goes, the economy's coming right. We've got to go away and think carefully about recapturing that spirit of optimism, of aspiration, and of representing that sense of progress that I think encapsulates the best of conservatism, and that national sense that the Conservative Party represents all parts of our country. We've got a long road to come back now.
Can I ask you a question? It's Andy. Can I just ask you a question? Don't you think, though, the Conservative Party changed? I watched it happen when I was in Parliament. It felt like Brexit took the soul of the old Conservative Party, and all of those people, like yourself, a bit pushed away, and it left one strain of opinion dominating everything, and that you lost your balance, it felt to me, at that point in time.
I'd say this. I think, you know, I'm a keen student of Labour history as well as Tory politics. I would say this. I think Brexit really sucked a lot of the energy out of what other areas of policy. I think because it took so much of our concentration and our governmental time, and I was a minister right through that process, I don't think, frankly, there was enough time to do the deep thinking and then the action needed on issues like housing and aspiration.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to move on. I'm so sorry to have to interrupt you there. Thank you very much indeed, Sir Robert. Thank you. Suggestions that Sir Robert Buckland in Swindon South may well lose his seat to Heidi Alexander of the Labour Party. Ed Conway winging his way to us. He'll be with us very shortly. Indeed, managed to pick him up there. He will be heading our way very shortly to give us a flavour of what was happening.
Have you got Ed, his own Sky News copter? as if he's gone to the palace for dissolution. That's amazing.
I know.
That is the biggest.
No expense spared.
Oh, that's a huge move there for Ed.
You should see what your treats are later on. Let's have a look at the Big Beast graphic, should we, and see who could well be in trouble. There you go. Richmond and Northallerton, Beth, likely Conservative hole. They'd be in a lot of trouble if they weren't. Hertsmere, who is the Deputy Prime Minister, of course, likely to hold his seat as well. But we move along to Godalming and Ash, which, of course, is Jeremy Hunt. The first time ever that a sitting Chancellor would lose his seat. Braintree, we can see the Home Secretary likely to hold on to his. But a possible Labour game with Welwyn and Hatfield. We'll go through some of the others for you a little bit later on. Johnny, the Plymouth Moor View, Mark Austin is standing by for us at the Labour camp in North London, Holborn and St Pancras. They must be thrilled, Mark. Hi.
Yeah, hi, Kay. Well, if that exit poll that you've just been showing is anything like the reality, then the civic officers here in Camden are about to witness something pretty spectacular. Keir Starmer will be here in a matter of hours. I mean, it's a given that he's going to win here. His majority is 27,000 or so, 64% of the vote last time, so he should win here. But the exit poll predicting great things nationally means that Keir Starmer, former human rights lawyer, former director of public prosecutions, leader of the Labour Party for 4 years or so, is going to walk into this building in a matter of hours, knowing full well that his life and the life of his family is about to change in the most dramatic way. Labour Party members have already been celebrating here as your exit poll went up there. And here they are receiving the news from the Sky News exit poll. Tamara Cohen is with me, so, well, a good night for them, and certainly a big night for Keir Starmer.
Absolutely. We will see Keir Starmer here at this count.
Well, guess what, guys? You can't believe this, but I hear a lot of sirens. So most likely, that's either the IRA or Osama's back.
Minister, after all these weeks of campaigning where you felt every day that Labour couldn't quite believe that it was happening, they now know almost for certain that they have won a landslide majority of the order that no one has since Tony Blair won one from opposition 27 years ago now. And they've seen a conservative implosion that we can see in those opinion polls there. And he will be coming here to thank the people who have voted for him, to put him in this position, but also will be talking no doubt about the job
technical
he has
data
done in
or technical data?
the party. We heard tonight from
Wait, which one?
Pat
This
McFadden,
one's
who's
got.
been a close ally
This one
of
does a
Keir
lot
Starmer's
more
been
miles
coordinating
or
the
kilometres.
campaign,
I won this one.
and he said
41
the transformation of the party since he took it over, having had its most devastating defeat for 80 years. He took it over when a lot of people said it would be
this one's got the
many,
full
many
route.
years
This is
to
like
get
the
them
proper
back into
cabriolet.
contention. He has turned it around
Which
in
one you
just
feeling
5
like?
years, and now the hard work of governing
Rose
will begin.
gold,
I
we
think
saw
we'll
this
get
one
a sense
today.
of that when he appears here tonight.
Yeah, and it could be hard work, because I can't
Torino
remember
blue.
an opposition leader coming into government
Feel
with
like that
quite
one
such
too?
low popularity
Maybe
ratings.
white?
But we'll talk about
That's
that in the coming
still
hours
going.
as we wait for Sir Keir Starmer to get here. With
Yeah, I need to
that,
figure out where my-
back to you, Kay, in the studio.
I want to see my.
Okay, for now, thank you, David Lammy, Shadow Foreign Secretary, until this evening, is joining us. Now, it's good to see you, David Lammy. Thank you for taking the time. You must be thrilled. How
There you
confident
go.
are you that you will be going into the Foreign Office by the end of the week?
No thanks.
Look, Kay,
Right, do I need to figure out?
this
Do I
is
need to
my
put where I
8th
live?
general election. The exit poll, of course, will cheer on many people that voted Labour across the country, but in the end, we won't know the full
This is
result
just
until
a
3, 4 o'clock this morning. I think what we're seeing is what I picked up on the doorstep, that in the end, people recognise that Keir Starmer changed the party. Did I say Keir Starmer? Maybe that's what we should now call him. Keir Starmer changed the party.
I actually hope the Lib Dems win. I love the Lib
now
Dems. Ed Davey is
wanting
like a pretty sigma guy.
potentially to change the country. That's what they're voting for. They're voting because they recognise that after 14 years of the Conservatives, our public services are nowhere near where they should be. Inflation is higher than it should be. Cost of living is high. We've got sewage in our waters. For all of those reasons, they're up for change. And they're
I think,
up
guys, I'm going to
for
keep
that
this going
Labour
for another couple
manifesto,
minutes.
which I
I'm
hope,
going
of
to head off because
course,
I
is a
have to
winning
get ready for bed,
manifesto.
obviously,
This
and
is a
stuff like that.
long way from where we were in 2019.
So,
when I said to
well, I hope you guys have all had a good time. This has been an absolute blast. About to say some funny things, some controversial things, probably going to get me.
I was wrong.
A lot of good questions tomorrow.
Fair enough, yeah. David,
he said about change the party, and it looks like he
David,
might
hold
be
that thought. I'm going to come back to you in just a second,
I'll tell you what,
I do want to pursue what we're talking about with the Foreign Office.
But
before that, Angela Rayner, Deputy Labour leader, will she be Deputy Prime Minister? Is it going to rain on your parade, or do you think you are going to be the Deputy Prime Minister?
So anyway.
I hope not, but I'm glad you cut David short, so I
thank you all.
I mean, look, the exit poll is encouraging, but obviously we haven't got any of the results yet. You want to see your
we've had a blast, guys, haven't we?
We've had I feel really sorry.
I loved it. This has been great. I love having you all.
Yeah, in Manchester, who knew that it rained
It's definitely been the best stream we've had. 100%.
But the exit poll was encouraging
jokes,
for us tonight, but obviously we've not had any of the results yet.
I mean, like,
you know,
got to make the Freak Squad manifesto.
In transforming the Labour Party and putting forward a programme for government that the country can get behind. And after 14 years
Freak
of
Squad's probably
chaos.
Live stream off. Alright, Freak Squad. It's time I hit the hay. So, hope you guys have a nice time. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless you all. Let's hope that things improve. And yeah. Goodbye, Freak Squad. Au revoir. Bye bye. Bye bye. And most importantly, guys, remember